Some of the challenges that modern brands face today are, one, it's the fact that there are no secrets when it comes to your brand. So with transparency, reviews, everything kind of coming online, you really have to make sure that your internal culture and the decisions you make are things that you don't mind being shared with the world, because that is a big part of your brand and the perception of your brand today. We stay ahead of what customers want just by always being out there listening to them. So our mission is to help people get jobs. So for us, it's really understanding what gets in the way of helping them get jobs. And then we have a lot of groups within our company, like an incubator group that's constantly out innovating. We're testing things all the time to see actually what's working. And then we go out and see, is it truly going to help them break down the barriers that get in their way for helping people find jobs.
Data plays a role in building modern brands in two important ways. One is the role of modern marketers today is connect with customers on a much more relevant, more personalized basis. Technology is making that easier to do, but you have to have the data about the customers to know how to be relevant, how to be personalized. And so data is really important from that perspective. Data is also important in understanding how to deploy the resources of marketing. It's the biggest budget that most companies have outside of people, and CMOs and the marketing organizations have to have evidence that they're spending it in the right places. And so data is hugely important in understanding what is working and what's not working. I think one of the biggest challenges that modern brands face is the unpredictability of how to manage their brand reputation. There are disruptions that come from every different direction that they can't control. And so the only way to really plan for that is to behave well, to live by your values and constantly be doing the right thing. Because when things go wrong, at least you can pull back and say, we tried to do the right thing, but maybe we made a mistake and now we'll try to correct it.
So my top takeaways of the panel today, building a modern brand, is especially one thing, and that is the purpose. Because I do see clearly that 80% of the brands don't really need a purpose, because customers won't even expect them to be there. So only 20% of the brands have a certain relevance. But if they do have a relevance, and if they want to have, or if they want to stay relevant in the future, they need to have a purpose built into their business system.
Thinking about in a modern world that's very divided between the haves and the have-nots, and an angry world, what role does a brand have to play? And should they do a marketing campaign where they pick a side? I actually think the side that they should pick is how to bring people together. And so much of this disparity of the haves and the have-nots is actually created within these modern brands, within these modern businesses themselves, because these businesses are made up of a few people who have a lot and many people who have a little. And if we can look as to how we can bring those two sides together within a business, within a brand, and how we can reduce some of that anger, and how we can help people to each understand each other so much more and do that internally, then maybe the brands themselves can be a role model and an inspiration for the rest of the world, rather than just doing a campaign where they go and tell a story and tell other people how they should behave. I think these things should start at home.